What's going on, YouTube? We have another video today of the Dunces podcast. We got Jordan, we got Johnny, we got Isandro. How y'all doing today, fellas? Y'all
I'm
look.
doing I'm doing good, but the women in your family doing better. Tell them I said what's up.
I will
Yes, sir.
every
Tell
single.
him Dewey J said what's up.
He's not doing J today, fam. I don't know. I don't see the do rag on.
Doo J.
Because
Yeah.
your girl got it, bro.
Oh my bad,
He,
yo.
he left it over her house.
Simple.
Bad, yo. Dang. I should go pick it up tomorrow. But
Yeah, do that.
I'll do that on a separate day. But as for today, we want to talk about something very special. Not very special, to be honest. It's just something that we wanted to talk about. The Western Conference playoffs is coming in who knows when. But this season is very important because the West is stacked. I feel like we say that every year, but this season in particular, it's pretty stacked to be honest. But I think we all know who our top 8 teams should be. However, we might have some differences. So I want to see y'all takes on it. So we're just gonna do it like we did with the Eastern Conference, 1 through 8. You could have a list if you want, or you could just talk about it. But just 1 through 8. Includes the play-in tournament. So who are the 8 teams that you guys think are actually gonna make the playoffs in the Western Conference? I'm gonna start off with Isandro on this one. Isandro, what do you think?
So I don't know about the Western Conference actually being stacked. I do think the teams are better in the West than the East, but I feel like the West is really top heavy. I feel like everybody's got the same 3 or 4 top teams in the West, and then after it kind of interchanges after that. Obviously, Lakers 1, Clippers 2, maybe 3. There might be a little contention. Maybe you have the Trailblazers there, but I have the Nuggets. I have the Trailblazers in 4th. Mavericks in 5th, but it could be interchangeable. It depends on how healthy Porzingis is when he does come back. I have Rockets in 6th. Can't really put them lower, can't really put them higher because they do have James Harden. I got the Warriors in 7th, but I feel like the Warriors, they can be either in 7th or in 8th place, depending on the circumstances. In 8th, I just kind of had a toss-up because I was like, what team is going to fight for 8th place? It could be the Pelicans, the T-Wolves, could be the Suns, the Spurs. So I kind of just put all those teams for my 8th slot.
You gotta pick one, bro.
Bro, it's my prediction.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't want to. I don't know. I guess I'll whatever you guys want. Doesn't
Bro,
matter.
this is your prediction.
Yeah,
I think it was tough because I mean, Greg Popovich, LaMarcus Aldridge, even though maybe he hasn't been the best, but he's still on that team. DeMar DeRozan. I feel like it'd be pretty harsh to discount the Spurs. Then again, you got CP3 going to the Suns, and all right, I think I'm gonna have the Spurs in 8th just because of that.
okay, all right. Wow, that's crazy. All right. Hey, you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
don't know.
List,
That's what I'm saying. It's like
that's your list, bro. I respect it. I'm gonna go with mine though, only because I also prepared. I have a little list here. So I think regular season it really doesn't really matter to the Lakers. So I have the Nuggets as the number 1 seed. Uh,
over Clippers though.
yeah, because I have the Clippers in second. Because Clippers really need a point guard. Like they need somebody to run that offense. And with the Nuggets, the only reason why I feel like they also are interchangeable with the Clips is because the Nuggets really defensively they're not going to be as good. But I just think they're just so much offensive firepower on that team that I could see them going number 1. So I got Nuggets 1, Clippers 2, Lakers 3. So that because they're gonna coast in the regular season. I got Mavs in 4. It depends though, like you said with Kristaps, if he's healthier throughout the season, I could see them being 4. If not, lowest 6. But right now I got Mavs 4. Portland at 5. 6 I have Suns. 7 I have Pelicans, and 8 I have Utah. So as you can see, I don't have the Warriors in it. Um, that's my biggest hot take, I guess. I really don't think it's a hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take.
That's not a hot take at all, bro.
Jazz, they have a good core.
Yeah.
The Suns, they could really be. I mean, I was debating it between those teams, and I ended up going with the Spurs just because of the coach.
You didn't even say Jazz though. That's where I'm kind of like.
I was considering the Jazz, but I wouldn't put the Jazz above like the Suns, the Pelicans, and even I think. Okay, I think the Jazz could be better than the Spurs. I think I'll concede that.
Wait. Didn't you have the Suns at 8th place?
It was either between the Suns, the Spurs, the Pelicans, the T-Wolves, and I did miss out on
Hold up,
Jazz.
aren't you the same guy that said the Suns are definitely making the playoffs this season?
Didn't say that.
Pretty sure that was Johnny.
Nah, bro, that was you, bro. You said that. We gonna.
Johnny's been hyping up the Suns since before the CP3 trade.
That is
Let's
true.
not forget.
So yeah, okay, so we'll talk about that after, but let's get into Johnny and Jordan. So let's go with Johnny on this one. Who do you think are your top 8 in the Western Conference?
All right. So number one this year is actually like a lot more interesting because it could be between the Nuggets or the Clippers because Clippers have so much to play for this year. I'm a Lakers fan, but I gotta be realistic. There's no team has played in a shorter window as us in Miami, 72-day window. So we're gonna coast through the regular season. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. So we might be in the 3 or 4 slot, I think. So, but number one, I think I don't know. It might be between Nuggets or Clippers. But right now, I'm gonna say Nuggets because their core is that good. So right now, I'm gonna say Nuggets for number one. Number two, Clippers. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. I'm gonna say Dallas as 3. Dallas as 3. I'm expecting an MVP season from Luka. As you guys know, the media is already playing this narrative out right now. Luka MVP. So I think he's gonna win MVP.
It's 100% driven by narratives.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're the ones who vote for it. So if they're driving out the narrative, then it's
And like,
most
there's
likely.
already a shortlist for the season just started, and there's already a shortlist for MVP. It's like you haven't even seen half of these guys play, so it's narrative.
Exactly. So yeah, I think Luka's gonna have a breakout season. I mean, Luka is playing at like you can't stop him. He plays the way he want to plays, and you can't stop it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll talk more about that though after. I want to get your
Yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad. So 3 Mavs.
It's easy to get caught up.
4 Trailblazers, 5 Jazz. You're sleeping on the Jazz, bro. With Bogdan, Donovan Mitchell, Gobert, Conley. Come on, that's veterans, bro. You think veterans are gonna make it? Nah, bro. That's a team full of veterans. 5th place. 6. I think Pelicans might get 6. Pelicans look really good. They're a really good team, and they have veterans. Have Bledsoe. I like Steven Adams. Zion, it looks good. So 6. 7th place. I'm gonna say okay. No. Let me switch that. 6 gonna be Suns. 7 Pelicans, and I think Grizzlies are gonna get that 8th spot off the plane. Grizzlies. I think I trust the Grizzlies this year with the second year. It depends on the health on Jackson, right? Jackson. His health is going to be a big one. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, yeah. So that's your 8. If you guys don't mind though, write down your 8 in the chat just so I could have it like memorized. If you guys can, it's fine. Just try to remember it so that we could have like a little debate about it after. But Jordan, I'm gonna ask you real quick. Who are your top 8 in the Western Conference?
All right, so number 1, I still got the Lakers. I mean, Lakers, LeBron's LeBron. I mean the top 3. I think it's the same for everybody. So number 2, I got the Nuggets. Nuggets are built different. They've been improving every single year. So number 3, Clippers. 4, Mavs. And then 5, I have the Rockets. If James Harden doesn't get traded, he's probably going to get traded. But that's if he stays. He's most likely going to get traded, whether it's during
5
the season.
Rockets, you said?
Yeah. So I have Rockets at 5. But if he doesn't, I'll have them like 8th, 9th, around there because they won't get far. Then 6, I have Jazz. 7, the Suns. And that was like one that was 6 or 7 between the Jazz and the Suns. And then 8, I have Blazers.
Oh, okay. All right. So as we can see, we have basically the same core teams, just a few little like maybe one that we each have different, but our order is like completely out of like
I guess. But the thing is, the order doesn't really matter. What matters is the 8 teams that are actually going to be there. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. But so I actually want to touch a little bit on the Suns. The only reason is because the Suns have a solid team, but we don't have them in the top 5. We usually have them 6 to 10 basically. So what other teams can really beat out the Suns to make the playoffs? Like, why don't we believe in the Suns as much? So I'm gonna go off with I'm gonna start off with Johnny on this one. So like, why don't we really like see the Suns as a threat in the playoffs?
Well, the Sun, because first of all, their bench is kind of depleted to me. Like they have a good starting lineup, but I don't know if there's anyone on their bench that could really compete against a bench of the Mavs or a bench of the Pelicans, like or the bench of even. I just don't know. So I mean, we'll see. They're going to develop over time, but their bench is really tricky. I want to see. But like I said, the Suns could very well be in the fourth or fifth spot in the Western Conference because Devin Booker is incredible. He scores at will, and Chris Paul could really lead that second unit. Even like I feel like he can, and DeAndre Ayton is going to really blossom with the pick and roll with him and Chris Paul. So if they develop that, which I really believe they will, and Monty Williams,
Great
like
coach.
I'm really worried about the second unit. Like Monty Williams is not gonna. What Cameron Payne did in the bubble was incredible. So, like I said, this is just for right now. They're gonna develop, but for right now, I don't see them.
Okay. All right. So what about you, Lisandro? You had the Suns in your eighth seed or like out of the playoffs. Like what?
Yeah, I had them fighting for the eighth seed, and it really is a toss up. But I definitely agree with all the points that Johnny was making. I feel like there's now in this season there's a lot more positives than there are negatives, especially after seeing how they performed in the bubble. So I feel like they definitely can make that top eight, no doubt.
Yeah. What about you, Jordan? What do you feel about the Suns? Like what's their ceiling? No.
I mean, last year we saw they were battling just to make the eighth seed, right? Then you add Chris Paul, which we know what he can do with players. He develops them. So I mean, I feel like this is more of a developing year for everybody, for all the young ones, especially for Aiden. I mean, we all know that chemistry that Chris Paul has with his bigs. So and Aiden can score on his own though. So it's not just Chris Paul and it's just Chris Paul's not gonna feed him all the time. Chris Paul's gonna help him like develop his shot in the
Bro,
post.
yeah.
And for Booker, I mean, it's gonna be him and Booker gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think it's a fun team. Like Isandro said, it's really a toss up with them. But I believe in the Suns a lot more this season than last season, mainly because of that bubble success. And they're bringing in a player that was traded to OKC, to a team that really shouldn't have made the playoffs last season, and he turned that team into a playoff team. So Chris Paul, he is a year older, as we all know. You know, at some point, age will get to you, but I just feel like now, he'll still be balling out. Isandro, you got something to say?
Yeah, can we talk about the Jazz? Because I feel like I underestimated them a little bit, not even putting them in my top eight. I kind of want to get your guys' perspective on how well the Jazz are going to do this next season.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk real quick just about the Jazz only because I put them as the eighth seed. Um, Only reason why I did that is because look, Mike Conley. Look, I love Mike Conley. He's one of my favorite point guards ever of all time. But Mike Conley, he struggled a lot last season. He was very up and down, very inconsistent with the Jazz, and he didn't really get into his own. And then when he got into his own, the pandemic hit, and then I don't know, like the chemistry just wasn't there. Then you got D Mitch, who Donovan Mitchell is a baller. Like he's a bucket getter. Young D Wade, honestly, reminds me a lot of a young D Wade. But then you got Bogdanovich, who's solid, great, solid defender, a great shooter, but he's older in age and he's coming off an injury. You got Joe Ingles, who's older, he's slower, he's solid, but like I said, at some point age does catch up with you. Ingles is like in mid to late 30s. Bogdanovich is starting to enter his mid to late 30s. And then you got Gobert, can't do much offensively. He just got that big payday. He really has no incentive to do great this season because he got paid. So then you have a bench that includes Jordan Clarkson and Royce O'Neal and Derek Favors, who was a great signing. But I just don't see that team improving. I don't see where they improved. In fact, I believe that they just stayed the same the last season. And the only improvement is that they got Bogdanovich back from an injury. But even then, I really do think that the Pelicans, the Suns, Portland, they're a better overall team. And I love Quinn Snyder, but in the playoffs, I feel like there's some adjustments that he should have made in this past postseason. And I don't know. There's just a lot of question marks with that team. Age is really a big factor, and sure they could do a lot maybe if they were in the Eastern Conference, but this is the West. So in the West, even if they do make the eighth seed, there's no way they're getting past the second round, the first round. So that's my take on the Jazz. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the Jazz they didn't. You're right. They didn't really get better. They're just really relying on the development of Donovan Mitchell for him to like enter that superstar category? I mean, he's a star right now, but can he answer that superstar category? I mean, we saw it in the bubble, but I mean, come on, we playing in the same gym every day. Like the bubble, like I don't know, the bubble is kind of built for players like him to have success in the same place every day, like But we'll see. I mean, but he did have an incredible bubble. We'll see if he can really develop into that star. But yeah, they didn't really get better. They're like the Bucks of the East, in my opinion. To be honest, they're just the same team.
Interesting. All right, what do you think, Jordan? What do you think about the Jazz?
I mean, look, for the Jazz, they're an amazing team during the regular season, right? And when they feed off Donovan Mitchell scoring, but in the playoffs, that's not effective because you need to play team ball in the playoffs. But during the regular season, that's fine because during the regular season, you're not playing playoff ball unless you're fighting for those last spots. So I mean, the Jazz, I mean, they're a great team all around during the regular season though, which is why I have them so high. But going into the playoffs, that's a whole different conversation for me. I mean, Joe Ingles, I mean, we know what he could do. Rudy Gobert defensively is amazing. Mike Conley, I feel like you don't need him to do great. You need him to just be okay. And then Donovan Mitchell's Donovan Mitchell. So that's why they're high for me. They already play well together. And then Donovan Mitchell, he's shown that he can get better, a little better every single year. So
I want to
that's
see. I want to see how Jordan Clarkson. Now he's got some security. I want to see if he can really develop into to really lead that second unit. Him and Royce O'Neal, Derek Favors. If that second unit can be as effective as I think it could be with the great coaching they have in Utah, they can be a great regular season team. Maybe that can lead into the playoffs, but for right now, I'm gonna keep them at 5.
Yeah, my only beef with them being a regular season team is that the Jazz are really known for their crowd. Like for one thing, they have a
Yeah.
very gracious crowd. We could talk. That's a whole other topic, but their crowd really like energizes that team, and we could say that about most NBA teams, right? Like
The Jazz is different though. Jazz is different. That's
yeah,
like the only team.
like Boston is a team where like they feed off that crowd, but like we saw in today's game, they still won without the crowd, right? Another team is the Knicks. As much as I hate the Knicks, their crowd is always there. So there are certain teams that they kind of need that crowd, but with the Jazz, I see that. But like Jordan said, right? They don't need Mike Conley to be great. They just need him to be solid. The thing is, though, all these guys are solid, but it's really just Donovan Mitchell offensively, and then a bunch of other solid pieces around him. Besides Bogdanovich, who can get his own, but he's coming off of an injury, so I don't know, man. Wait, Sandra, what do you think about the Jazz before we move on?
It's a wrist injury. He'll be fine.
I find it very interesting how we have them in varying positions in the top 8. Johnny, you have them at 5th. Is that right?
Yeah, they're gonna replace the Rockets, especially with the downhill of James Harden. They're gonna replace the Rockets.
See, I feel like the Rockets wouldn't really take that much of a dip to the point where they're being replaced in that seed. But
No, I don't think they're making playoffs.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have the Rockets in my. I didn't even think about them at all.
Me neither. I don't. No, I don't think. Maybe they'll qualify for a play-in, but I don't know.
You know what my thing is about the Rockets, real quick. I know, Alexander, I'm sorry to cut you off about the Jazz, but just about the Rockets. There's really, they suck. like, bro, if you think about it, man, look, they just got a game postponed because of what Harden is doing. Harden is looking very unprofessional right now, and it's kind of really sad to see, because he's such a great natural talent, and he works so hard to get where he's at now. Just to like all of this fall apart in Houston, like it sucks, and it sucks for a first-time head coach, right? But that's the thing, you're implementing a star player who's used to a certain type of basketball into a brand new system with brand new teammates, a team that really tried that small ball unit to now going with some bigs and a new point guard that we haven't seen play in over 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So like the Rockets really they could make the playoffs if Harden like balls out, but other than that, like he just doesn't want to be there. And all these COVID-19 protocols, he's breaking them. He's having his teammates break them as well. Like it's not a good sign for them. Houston has so much internal problems that I think it's going to be too much for them to handle to make it to the playoffs. But I know that Jordan and Isandro had them in the list. So, Isandro, what do you think
I
about?
think you're kind of discounting the fact that they're a team that they can really exceed expectations, but because the expectations are kind of low. Because look, you have players coming off injuries like DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall, and people aren't expecting them to ball out, nor am I. However, if they even come back as fraction of those players, Boogie Cousins was the best center in the league. John Wall was a really good point guard. And if Harden actually, decides to play basketball whenever he feels like it, that's easily a playoff contending team.
Can I counter that real quick though?
That's
Just real quick. I just want to say something. Look, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, as great as they were, they both suffered Achilles injuries. They both
That's the problem, yeah.
they both rely on their athleticism, and Boogie's back to the basket. These are Achilles injuries that really affect a player, and they might look good in the preseason, but once the NBA regular season starts, it's a different breed, and it's a lot more wear and tear on your body. And over the course of 72 games, yes, it is 10 games less, but on the course of 72 games, I just can't see the Rockets do much in the regular season. But you can go ahead now, Johnny. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm not discounting the fact that John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins could start playing well. They could exceed expectations. I mean, there's not much back-to-backs this year. They could do well. But we're talking about the Rockets as a cohesive unit. Even starting from the top, it's just all discombobulated right now. Like that's not the formula of a winning team. There's no one that's a playoff contender that's dealing with what they have to do with. And can we just touch on Harden? Just please, I don't even mad at me. Can we touch on Harden? Like Harden wants to get traded, but he's discounting his trade value. If you're a young GM, would you trade your future picks for James Harden as we speak right now?
No.
No, you wouldn't do that. Like he's not even paying attention to the rules. He doesn't even care about basketball to me right now. He doesn't look like someone that cares. See all that.
But isn't that the point, Johnny? Because nobody's trading for Harden as we speak. Wouldn't it make sense for him to decrease that value? Because no way was, let's say, a Philadelphia 76, no way were they going to give up Ben Simmons and something else for Harden. So wouldn't it make sense for him to try to decrease that value to get out of there? He's doing everything he can.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't make sense for him in like as a publicity. For publicity, that doesn't make sense.
He just wants to get out of there.
But I mean, and it's terrible for the Rockets. And think about this. They paying him all this money, and if his trade value decreases, they can just stay put as long as they want. Like, all right, we're not going to trade an NBA superstar for nothing. So it's just it's going to end bad. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it really doesn't look good for the Rockets. But Jordan, what do you got to say about the Rockets?
I mean, the Rockets just can't give in. I mean, we've seen it's the same thing with the NFL, right? With Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell. Like the same thing with the Steelers. The team can't give in to the player, right? You have to get the value of that player. So for Harden, that point Isandro made was perfect because he's decreasing his value. So at one point, you want the Rockets to not give in, but they might give in because this guy is messing up the team. We're still trying to win despite you not wanting to be here. So I mean, but for Harden, I mean, I have them in the playoffs because Harden, it doesn't matter. He's that guy that no matter what's going on outside or whatever's going on, he's still going to drop 50 on your team, 50 points.
That's facts.
So that it doesn't matter for me. But that's if he plays. That's a big if. I don't know. Maybe he hold out. So
that's what I'm more afraid of. Like I'm expecting the worst with Harden and the Rockets. So that's why I believe that they won't make it. Like there's just so much. Like Johnny hit it perfectly. They're so discombobulated from top to bottom. I feel so bad, and I say this. I think every video whenever we talk about the Rockets, I feel so bad.
You always trash the Rockets.
I feel so bad for Steven Silas, man. I love that guy, man. He deserved so much better, and now he's with a team that had to postpone a game because of COVID-19 protocols. Like COVID is still happening, so the fact that these guys are still doing all these things, there's just so much going on.
Blame Harden for just trying to have fun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was with little baby, bro.
Nah, bro. It's a different whole thing. I don't even know what happened this time. It was like some friend got a job. I don't know. The thing is, Harden, it really looks bad on him. It looks bad for the Rockets organization. And you're right. The Rockets shouldn't give in. At the same time, what is he doing to make you not want to give in? Like he's not doing anything for you now. So might as well trade him for some value. All I know is the Nets better not trade for him because we played great that first game, man. So I want to keep
Nets really show that they do not need Harden to contend.
Right, they do not need him. But that's a topic for another day because Jordan's already making the face, and we all know Nets.
Yeah, because we can talk about if Jason's talking, we can talk about the Nets for at least an hour.
Oh yeah.
At least.
Hey,
you're
That
right.
wouldn't
They
make
look
sense.
great. They look so good, bro. Oh my god.
they are in the Eastern Conference though, and we'll talk about that another day.
They played against a depleted Warriors unit. Get out of here. Warriors not even making the playoffs.
Okay. So
They
let's
might,
talk
they
about
might.
that real quick. Actually, thank you for bringing.
Bro. I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about something right there.
Okay, go ahead, Johnny.
I was watching the Clippers-Lakers game, and I took some NyQuil, and bro, like, I didn't know what was going on. I thought Paul George dropped 83 points. And I was like, bro, I was like drowsy. I was like, bro, is Paul George really cooking our team like this? I was like, dang.
He dropped 33, right?
Bro, that's why I was going off in the group chat. I'm like, bro, I told you Paul George was gonna hoop this season, but I didn't think he was gonna get 83.
This guy was on the
Anyway,
quill.
It's
bro,
funny.
I was
Johnny-
faded, bro, watching
Johnny,
that
a
team.
Lakers fan, right? You called that the Clippers were going to defeat the Lakers, and I looked at a poll on IG, and like 83% said that the Lakers were going to win, and 15, or I don't know, math.
Bro, they're just casual fans, bro. I think we all know that the Clippers have so much more to play for, and we just finished playing.
That
You
was
saw,
LeBron
you
didn't
saw
even play the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
bro.
they
You
were-
see LeBron. You see LeBron in the first quarter. You see how he was dribbling the ball. It was like he was playing a pickup game. I was like, yeah, I know this was coming. But anyways, let's move on. My bad.
No. Actually, just real quick about the Clippers. Yeah, we'll talk about the Warriors after because I just want to get into the Clippers because I think we all had them first or second, right? All of us.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
man, they look better defensively than I thought.
But, yeah,
You see how good Luke Kennard was defending? I was like, wow, he was pressing up
Solid.
on dude. No, he was solid. I didn't think he was solid.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he was.
Yeah, bro,
I don't
chill
know.
out. Chill out with them predictions.
Chill out,
Maybe.
bro.
This guy said 83 points for Paul George.
my only thing with the Clippers is that I really believe that they need a point guard. I was saying it in the chat yesterday. I was saying it again today in a different group chat that I'm in. Look, the Clippers really need like a solid point guard, just a George Hill type of point guard, something that can get that offense to relax because there were so many moments in that game where you just see them drive like baseline and just try to kick it out to a shooter, and it's like, okay, it works sometimes, but if you keep doing that like for like the 5 possessions in a row, the team's gonna catch on. So defensively, they're gonna look a lot better than they really are, as you know, the opposing team. So I really think that they need a point guard that can actually like handle the ball and direct teammates to go, which is why I believe Rondo would have been a perfect signing for them. They should have done everything they could have to sign him, but they didn't, and they went after
Rondo
him.
wasn't gonna betray LeBron like that. Not the Lakers. Not after everything they went through.
Well, I mean,
I think it was a money thing.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, but that's different though. Yeah, for real.
So, but what do you guys think? So we all have the Clippers in second. Why? Why do we have the Clippers that's so high?
Well, I mean, if we saw from yesterday, their ball movement was exceptional yesterday. Like, I think that Tyronn Lue really moved off of let the stars cook to let everyone to get the best shot possible. Like they were passing up 2 good shots to get a great shot, and I love that. Defensively, they're going to be stout. Paul George in flashes showed how good he could really be and how good he can be this season. Luke Kennard, NBA GMs are saying Luke Kennard was the most underrated trade of the season. That was a really good trade. I like that. And for me, bro, Serge Ibaka, bro. Oh my God, I don't think people understand how important Serge. Like you go from Zubac, clogging up the paint, to spacing, to one of the most efficient mid-range shooters as a center in probably league history, and you give space for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to rock, bro. Oh, that's such a huge, and how good he is defensively.
Yeah, he's solid.
Man, that team's gonna be good.
The Clippers are gonna be
George.
But I'm just gonna say one thing and then I'm gonna let you go, Jordan. Regular season team. But okay, go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, true, exactly.
What'd you say?
Right now, yeah.
Regular season team. They're a regular season team.
That's facts.
Exactly. Yeah.
They got to prove that. They got to prove playoffs.
Yeah, we all
that's
know
why
what
we have
Paul
them
George
so
does this. He does this all the time, bro. 2 years ago, he had an MVP. Like for him, like that was his best season with OKC. But what did he do in the playoffs?
No, bro, relax, bro. Hey, the shoulder injury was serious during the playoffs, bro. He was playing through it, bro. Shoulder injury, bro.
You're right.
Let's relax, bro. Shoulder injury was serious.
I know it's not tough, bro. I backed him up, but when you go out publicly and you say, "Oh, I'm 100%, I'm gonna ball up now," and then you do that bad, nah, that's not how it works.
Dwight Howard.
And then after he was like, "Yeah,
hey, no. Dwight
Cry me a
Howard said he
river.
was 100% with a torn MCL during the playoffs like a couple years back.
Don't cap.
Players are gonna say that.
Keep it
Players
100.
players are always gonna say that.
Look, but you know what? In Jordan's defense, though, Paul George hasn't been good in the playoffs for the past 4 years, dating back to his last season in Indiana and so on. So, yeah, George, he has to prove it. Jordan said it, he hit it on the nail. He does great in the regular season. He does that all the time. But once the playoffs start, something changes. And I mentioned this in another podcast we were in. But at some point, we have to give the Indiana Pacers, with Frank Vogel and all those guys, we have to give them credit because they really made Paul George like great, right? So it really shows us that Paul George really has to prove to us that he has to do something great once the playoffs come around. But we're gonna move on, I guess. So I want to talk about the Warriors real quick. So obviously we can't discredit the Warriors too much only because Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson is injured. And he won't be back this entire season. We obviously know this. So what do you guys feel about the Warriors? Can they potentially make the playoffs with just Steph Curry and Draymond, or like I personally don't think they can, but I'll get into my points later. So what do you guys think? I'll
I
start
think
off.
they can because of Steph Curry. Yeah.
Okay.
Steph Curry's going to have as close to an MVP, unless he gets injured, obviously, as close to an MVP season as possible, because it's just him, and he's got some good rotation players around him. But now that that Klay's injured, he's gonna have to really step up.
Yeah,
No,
always
this-
Warriors.
in your predictions though. I don't see the Warriors though, so I'm gonna discredit everything you just said. But I'm gonna go with I'll go with Johnny now. Johnny, what do you think about the Warriors?
No, bro, this season's done. It's a waste. I just want to see how much fun they can have. Like it's a tough season. I want to see how well Steph Curry can develop the young guys, and I want to see how well Draymond Green can play. Draymond Green's a bit kind of fell off after. I want to see if he can, with an increased role, I want to see what he can do as a point forward and as a teacher. It's a lost season. This is a developing year. They'll run it back next year with Klay.
So Jordan, what do you think?
The Warriors are so sad. I just feel bad for Steph Curry. Listen, we know Steph Curry there's no debate. He's the best off-ball point guard in the NBA. It's not a debate. And he was moving around. Players were getting in his way. There's no chemistry. I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
I still think he's going to have an MVP year because they're going to just feed off Steph Curry. Steph Curry's shooting. I mean, he can score like 10 threes in the matter of 5 minutes. So it's just not going to be fair. But Draymond Green, he's not healthy. Clay's gone. You need Andrew Wiggins to step up. He needs to be a star.
Sucks.
And he has that potential. I think he could do that. But can he? Kelly Oubre looking like the second best player right now. So I don't know. But Andrew Wiggins has to step up big time for them just to make the playoffs. I have them fighting for
I'm
the
not talking about them doing anything in the playoffs. This is just fighting for 7th, 8th seed.
Yeah, it just is not even 7, bro. 8th seed straight up.
Eighth
It's just
seed, yeah, fighting for 8th
or
seed.
even trying to get that 9th, 10th spot at least to make a chance. But it's not gonna be fun.
It's not going to be easy.
You guys know how I feel about the Warriors. I love Steph. Steph is one of my favorite players to watch, but you got Andrew Wiggins. He's a scrub. He doesn't do anything. He scores all those points because he's inefficient and he just takes up random shots because he wants.
Even Andrew Wiggins doesn't even look good in that.
Exactly. So
all
that's-
that freedom.
So Wiggins sucks. Then we have Kelly Oubre, solid dunker because we saw that dunk on KD. Other than that, he can't.
He's a good three.
His 3-point shooting was solid, but he's very inconsistent. Another very inconsistent player. You got Eric Pascal, who does sometimes some things. He's also inconsistent. Wiseman is a rookie. You got players like Jordan Poole, inconsistent. You got players like Toscano, inconsistent. Brad Wanamaker, inconsistent. No defense. You get Draymond Green back. He can't score for crap, and all he'll do is defend and pass the ball to Steph because that's all he can do. The team will not do anything this season. Warriors won't do anything until Klay comes back. And when Klay comes back, it's still going to be tough because he's going to be coming back from an Achilles injury. So the Warriors, I'm sorry, but they fell off. I still love Steph Curry though. He's going.
Hold on, real quick, yo, Johnny, are you on Dayquil this time? Looking a little dozy.
Bro, I'm not. I'm just watching. I'm watching the Suns game, bro. First of all, the Jazz are killing the Blazers right now.
Are they
They're
really?
destroying them, 52 like to 33. Last time I checked. But I was watching the game.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I don't think that matters because even the Nets destroyed the Warriors, but that doesn't mean anything because I still think they're trash. But yeah, let's move next topic.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
facts. The
I mean,
Warriors still championship
hold on,
contenders.
hold on. I mean, the Wizards did lose to the Sixers, didn't they? Interesting.
Are the Sixers bad though?
Interesting.
Yeah.
They ain't the Warriors. They ain't the Warriors.
Interesting.
Sixers are bad.
Sixers.
Okay.
Sixers. Top 4 team in the East. Are you
They're
serious?
not. I was just trying to get my man's heat.
All right, let's go.
Anyway, Western Conference though. If anybody has a specific team that they want to talk about, by all means, please go ahead. Who is somebody that you're very excited to watch, and who's somebody that you're like, throw them out. They're definitely not going to do anything. What do you think, Isandro? Who's the team that you're really excited for in the Western Conference?
Yo, definitely Nuggets. Definitely. After seeing what Jamal Murray did in that bubble, and it feels like they were good before, but they finally like found something there. Him and Jokic, they're gonna be so good to the point where somebody here had them in first or second, right?
Yeah.
You right. So like they're gonna be such a good team this year.
Yeah, my only thing with them is defensively they did lose some defenders, Torrey Craig and Jeremy Grant.
They lost Grant, yeah.
And Mason Plumlee actually, Mason Plumlee was very underrated for the Nuggets. A solid passer, a solid defender off the bench. Like he was really great for them. But I love that they're gonna give the keys now to Manute Bol. I'm sorry, Bol Bol, Bol Bol. Monte Morris got paid. He's gonna do solid off the bench with them. They re-signed Paul Millsap. Will Barton is back. They have a solid core. I just think that they're gonna get the first seed only because they know each other. They play so well together. But the team I'm excited to watch is actually the team that Johnny's watching right now, Phoenix. I'm super excited to see that. I mean, I mentioned it before. I feel pretty bad for Chris Paul. I wish he would have gone to another team that he could have won. But he's gonna have a lot of fun here in Phoenix, seeing these guys go from good to great. And by these guys, I really mean like DeAndre Ayton and like Mikal Bridges. But now great to like superstardom because I believe Devin Booker is that good. I could see like Chris Paul doing that for D Book. So that's gonna be like if I had money for League Pass, that would be my League Pass team. But how about
Yeah,
you?
I'm looking at Mikal Bridges. I'm like, bro, if Mikal Bridges like the blossoms, this team gonna be scary, bro.
Oh yeah.
Just because like they have so much offensive continuity. But yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
So real quick though, Johnny, I want to go. Who's the team that you're excited for in the West besides the Suns? Like, because we all know you're from Phoenix. What's the team you got?
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see. Okay, it's kind of two teams, but it's the Grizzlies and the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Because they're on that same wavelength as they have stars, but can they get to that next level? The the Pelicans have the most talent on paper, but as a team, as a cohesive unit, the Grizzlies is like the best team. Like they gel together more. Like as a team, I mean, Pelicans have so many new pieces, right?
Yeah.
They have the most talent. The Grizzlies are a better team, like right. I'm not, what I'm saying. I gotta explain that. Like Pelicans have the best pieces on paper, but Grizzlies, as a basketball court, they know each other more, right? You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely. They didn't really make any big moves, but that's why I think that the Pelicans actually, because
The Pelicans are interesting.
the Pelicans had the most important thing. Even if they didn't make all those trades, Stan Van Gundy is going to help that team out so much. And Lonzo Ball in this first game, like we all trash on him and because for being a part of the ball family.
He's
And all
solid. He's so
Lonzo
solid.
is balling, bro. Like
He's gonna have a good season because he's gonna be a restricted free agent next year, right?
Yeah, he's playing for his future. Lonzo's playing for his future right now.
he's you know what, offensively he's getting a lot better. He needs to work on his free throw shooting, but other than that, Lonzo, I'm pretty excited to see that. Eric Bledsoe, we all know what he's in the playoffs, but in the regular season he's great, and I love Eric Bledsoe.
And Brandon Ingram,
yeah,
he's a dog, bro.
they have a good team. Steven Adams, another
29, 9, and 11. Like,
Yeah.
think about that. You look at those numbers and you're like, oh yeah, I think Brandon can score that every night. I feel like he really can if he wants to. And Bledsoe and Steven Adams. Think about that backcourt with Zion and Steven Adams, bro. Oh my god. Bro, two screens and you Nate Robinson, bro. Two screens and you Nate Robinson.
Yeah, man. Like that's crazy. We didn't even talk about Zion. Zion is gonna be amazing this season. With that team, beautiful. I'm so excited to see them in the playoffs. But Jordan, what's your like team that you see in the West? They don't even have to make the playoffs. They're just a team that you're excited to watch.
Suns and Mavericks, because Suns obviously Chris Paul, Devin Booker, those guys are just exciting. And now we're gonna see like Devin Booker in a situation where he can win this time. not drop 70 points and losing the game. And then Dallas Mavericks, Luka is just so fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
He gets buckets, but he has fun at the same time. I mean, he was bottle flipping before he hit the game winner against the Clippers in the
That was
bubble.
crazy.
I mean, that's hilarious. So I'm definitely excited to watch that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's exciting because he's going to get even better. Like he's decent, but he's not even the best 3-point shooter. And he's going to improve in that department as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool to see.
My only beef with the Mavericks is that they waived JJ Barea. Rip my boy
They
JJ.
gave him money though.
I know,
Yeah.
but
It was
like,
a thank
should have
you.
stayed, bro. He should have stayed as a consultant, but it's all good. But I think we could end the video off here. There's really no other teams out there in the West. As you can see, we didn't really talk much about Portland. Portland, I'm just excited for them because they got some solid players.
Yeah, Portland's a wait and see type of team.
Yeah, and that's really how the NBA goes, right? We just had our first games yesterday and today. Shout out my Nets. Today, Boston, Jason Tatum, crazy game winner. If you guys didn't watch it, highlights. It was a definitely a lucky shot. It was very Kobe-esque though, so rip the Mamba. But there's a lot of new up and coming players too. LaMelo Ball, he had his debut tonight. Didn't do as well. Terry Rozier, hold up real quick. Terry Rozier top 10 threes, bro. 10 threes in one game. That's
42 points.
all-star, bro. No, I'm kidding. That's cap. But
MVP.
we had a lot of great things going on, but we just really want to talk about the Western Conference playoffs because we did Eastern Conference. Now, in our next video, stay tuned because we will be talking about award predictions, and we'll post that one of these days in the upcoming weeks. But as of today, we're done here. Thank you guys for joining. Please like, subscribe, and hit that like button. From Jay, Lisandro, Johnny, and Jordan, we say peace out.